The Springboks do seem to perform at their best, Rob, when they've, it's been said before, when they've got a crack up their backside. In terms of the psychological blow, though, that this might have caused on the team, I mean, what do you think about that? And obviously, there was, we know there was a lot of politics leading into the World Cup, which will inevitably affect the psyche of the squad. The psychological on the one side, but then also the personnel going forward. What changes need to be implemented?
You're right. I mean, I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of fragility mentally in that Springbok camp right now. I mean, the amount of soul searching they have to do just this week is massive after a result like that, which was, completely unexpected for them. It's really put the cat among the pigeons in terms of their planning for the tournament. I remember that there was talk at the start of the tournament that last game against the USA, we might have the luxury of playing a sort of a second string side, if you like, or some of the dirt tracker guys, if the peripheral players, to give the senior personnel a rest. We're not going to have that luxury anymore, because every match now has become important in terms of the jockeying to just push for one of those top two berths in the pool. So it's going to be a fragile week from a mental point of view. I think even if he doesn't play this week, and I think Jean de Villiers will have quite a big role in sort of just trying to sort of gee everybody up again and get some sort of positive energy going. Difficult for him, given that there's going to be inevitably a cloud about whether he is going to be in the mix as captain for the next match. My suspicion is perhaps not. I've got a feeling that maybe he's going to have to resort to the bench and be a sort of experienced infusion towards the end of the game if necessary.
Like player coach almost.
Yeah. Well, I think Damien de Allende really has to come into the mix. They have to create more vibrancy, more go forward in the number 12 spot, where Jean still just looks that little bit too rusty, regrettably. So a lot of thinking to be done. I mean, Victor Matfield, of course, is next in line as captain in the pecking order, but some issues there as well, because Loet de Jager played fantastically well again. He was one of few South African players to really stand up properly. Jeben Etzebeth was forced onto the bench, and presumably a week up the line is going to be even fitter than he was in his sort of comeback from a calf injury on Saturday, where he got a little bit of game time. He's the sort of player who I think against a team like Samoa you do need back in the heart of that engine room. So there's going to be massive debate around what is the ideal lock combination. Do you push Matfield back to the subs as well, and then who do you make the sort of the number 3 captain, if you like, between say Skalkberger, Fourie de Preer. So all sorts of issues, and in other positions too, because as you say, with a result like that. There are going to have to be tweaks. The public are going to demand it. I think even Heineke Meyer will have to acknowledge that he needs to somehow freshen that team. And crucially, I think he's got to create more of a faster tempo to things. And that should mean good news for people like de Allende, Willie Leroux perhaps. I think Fourie de Preer coming back to call the shots at scrum half, where Ruan Pienaar has just been too sluggish for words. So there will be changes. Exactly where they happen will be very interesting to watch in midweek.